Hello and welcome to Module 9. In this module, we're going to do an introduction to social media and just an easy introduction because there's just so much that goes on with social media, especially nowadays. I actually had to update these slides this semester. If you want to learn more about social media, I actually teach one of the social media sections here at MiraCosta College. So feel free to look into the schedule for that. Usually there's 2 or 3 sections available every semester because it's such a popular course. So for this particular module, I'm just going to go over some basics of Facebook and Instagram, which are the 2 most popular platforms, and some social media strategies. So, introduction to social media, it's defined as a form of electronic communication, such as websites for social networking and microblogging, through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, and personal messages and other content such as videos. So, social media is a marketing disruptor. Consumers are becoming content creators for brands on social media. User generated content, which is also known as UGC, refers to any digital content that's produced by end users of an online service or website. UGC is used to create opportunities for showcase brands and build customer relationships. So instead of a brand always having to create their own content and maybe it doesn't look as authentic, they use their followers or content creators to create the content for them. So I actually do a lot of UGC content for different types of running brands. Here's an example of one I did, I think it was last winter when I was on vacation snowshoeing, which was absolutely fun. If you've never gone snowshoeing, highly recommend it. Here's kind of like another example here. Here's a post I did and I tagged so you guys can see the different brands I'm wearing in this image. And a couple of them reuse them. So not all the time do the brands reuse my content, but sometimes they do after I post. Other options are brands might directly reach out to me and I will send them specific content. They'll say, hey, we really need some clips of you running in this running vest here. Give me some guidelines. We talk about compensation. And then in return, I send them content of me doing that. So this was at the top of a summit climb here that I did. So you can see one of the brands was Runner and they ended up using this content later, was wearing their hat. Here's another example. I work a lot with Nathan Sports. They were actually a client of mine for a very long time, but now I just do athlete work for them. Rabbit is another big brand that I work with. So again, just tagging him on everything. You see the likes here. Sometimes we do collaborations where we show up to on both of our feeds. So I'll post something on my feed, invite the brand to collaborate, and then it'll automatically show up on their feed as well. Here's another popular one. This is after I ran the Moab 240 race, the most famous foot picture out there. So a lot of brands, tagged a lot of brands that I used in this image here. It got a lot of likes. It's probably the most likes I've ever gotten on an image. So that was a interesting race, extremely difficult. So social media advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages of using social media is that it utilizes platforms that allow for unlimited access and are free to use. Facebook, Instagram, it's all free until you start doing paid ads. It makes brands more visible by exposing them to larger audiences, allows for easily identifying and reaching target audiences, heightens customer service and engagement through two-way communication, increases brand awareness and loyalty, improves search engine ranking, so SEO, and increases website traffic. You can post links that are clickable and people will go straight to your website to make purchases. Some of the disadvantages of social media: lacks an emotional face-to-face connection, opens brands up to negative feedback. So if you put a post, say example, you post something about a pair of running shorts, you can get a lot of complaints on that post as well that other people can see. So that can be a disadvantage. Requires additional resources to manage. Companies run realistic customer expectations. Risk accounts being hacked or experiencing security breaches. This has happened to brands before where they completely get hacked and then they have to start over from scratch. Deals with the potential of inappropriate behavior, including harassment. Has a viral nature, so brand reputation can be damaged instantly. Can be difficult to measure return on investment. And lately, it's been costing more money for brands to run social media because in order for them to show up on pages with the algorithms, they have to actually pay to do paid ads through Facebook and Instagram and Meta. Some of the metrics for social media are what we call CTAs, called actions, clicks, URL clicks, engagements, engagement rate, followers, mentions, and total reach. Super easy to get metrics nowadays. You just go into the Meta Business Suite or a lot of the apps. If you go into straight the Instagram app or straight into the Facebook app, you can grab all the metrics and it'll download reports for you. And it does that all for free. Some of the benefits of social media marketing, kind of went over this already, but just to reiterate this: increased exposure and brand awareness, increased traffic, brand loyalty, marketplace insight, lead generation, increased thought leadership, improved sales, time savings, reduced marketing costs, stronger customer experiences, owned, earned, and paid media. So here is a video that you guys can watch on some of the benefits on social media, YouTube video there. Organic versus paid social media marketing. So I personally, for my clients, just do the organic social media. Paid social media, there's so much more involved, and it's like a whole different ball game. So a lot of big brands, they'll have a team that does the organic, and then they usually hire an agency to do all the paid work for them, so they can concentrate on what they're best at. So organic social is when users take advantage of the free elements of social media, such as post sharing on Facebook or two-way conversations with users. Good for small businesses, nonprofits. It can build a social community and direct them to their website. Paid social involves sponsored, paid advertising content delivered on social networks in the form of images, videos, and what we call carousel ads. Depending on the platform, ads can be targeted to users based on location, buying habits, or personal interests. So think your target market. You grab your target market, you grab your personas, and you can target those ads directly to who you want. Unlike organic, paid social directly puts your content in front of the users who will most likely show interest, but you have to what we call pay to play. So here's a little rundown on Facebook. Again, just absolute basics right here. There's a lot involved with this platform. So it's the largest user base of the traditional social media platforms. Changing demographic, there is now a wider age demographic, including those above 65 years old. Well suited for most businesses, it's good for every company to at least have a minimal Facebook presence. So just something to kind of ask yourself: how many of you have Facebook? How many of you are active on Facebook? Have you ever discovered or purchased a product or service on Facebook from following businesses? How about from an influencer, or have you received a sponsored ad? Have you attended an event based on an event you saw on Facebook? Hey, if you said no to all these questions here, that is completely fine. But if you're going to be doing social media for marketing, your customers might still be on Facebook. So you need to know how it works. All right, something to think about. You may not be on Facebook, but your target audience could be. So I work a lot on Facebook. I personally don't use it too much for personal use, but I use it a lot for marketing. So creating events is a big one. Here we have 2 races that we had and different clients here, and we created events for that. Some of them were sponsored. This one was not, but I think this one did end up being sponsored later. If you're completely new to Facebook and you want to know how to set up a business page, which is different than a personal page, you can click on this link here and it'll tell you how to create a Facebook business page in 5 simple steps. So here's kind of just a screenshot of what that looks like here. I won't get too into this. You can click on the link here to learn more. So the Business Suite, which we call Meta Business Suite now, in 2020, Facebook Business Suite was launched. The new interface, which replaced Facebook Analytics, offers a variety of tools that make it easier for businesses to manage their Facebook and their Instagram, view the businesses at a glance, such as updates, recent posts, ads, and insights. You can view activity and notifications, use Inbox to read messages and comments. What's great about what's now called Meta Business Suite, what's great about this is if you operate and manage multiple clients and accounts, you can view them all through the Business Suite platform. You don't have to go to each individual Facebook page. You can view them all in here. It makes it really quick, especially if you're receiving a lot of messages in the inboxes and need to respond to a lot of them. So you can also create posts and stories. I use a third-party scheduling app called Buffer, but if you don't want to pay for that, you can create them just in the app, in the Business Suite. Access to Commerce Manager if the page has a business account. Create new ads, boost posts, and promote a page. View insights on page performance and audience information. Access Ads Manager, business settings, and page settings. So just some quick tips here on Facebook. With text, longer posts will get cut off in a user's feed. So pay attention to how long your text is. With photos, consider optimization for mobile display. When using tools like Buffer or Later, which is third-party scheduling apps, images must be a certain size, and they will tell you in the app what size they need to be. Videos should be uploaded natively to Facebook when possible. They autoplay in the newsfeed and receive more engagement over linking to videos posted on another website. GIFs are short, soundless video clips that loop and don't require a play button. Hashtags turn keywords into clickable links, help followers find posts, and help make brands more searchable on Facebook. There's a lot of research out there now that there's no need for hashtags on Facebook. I see people going back and forth on this, so you'll just have to pay attention what the latest trends are. Facebook groups. Now, this is what I use a lot. It's a great resource. It's a space where people can come together around a common topic to learn, share, and create discussions. Here's an example of one I had for students in the past, but I am in a lot of Facebook groups. You can get research that way. You can build community that way. I mean, from running groups to beer drinking groups to student groups, Facebook groups can be used for anything. So benefits: building community and spark meaningful conversations, nurture and reward loyal audiences and contributors, gain insights about your audience, develop sources for stories, and create content based on group discussions. You can also show others how much you know if you're a domain expert in a certain type of industry or subject, product, or service. Here are a couple more examples here. When I had my business called Ghost Runners Coaching, we were a running coach team. So we had a free public group that people, where we would do a little bit of advertising and people could get to know us better. And then we also had the free coaching tips. So we would give coaching tips. And then when people got enough coaching tips and we showed our domain expertise, then they would go to our website and hire us for actual one-on-one coaching. So this was the page and this was the group. Okay, so moving on to Instagram. Oh, there's so much to learn about Instagram. It's my favorite platform. But again, we're just going to go over the basics here. Instagram was founded in 2010 by Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. Within 9 months of launching, had over 7 million users. By April 2012, had 30 million users. Doubled user base more quickly than any previous social network. Purchased by Facebook for $1 billion in 2012. 2 billion plus active monthly users. 200 million plus active businesses. 100 million plus photos uploaded per day. I'm sure by the time you watch this video, these numbers are a lot higher. So 90% of all Instagram users follow a business on Instagram. Top 50 global brands post on average of 4.9 times per week. 75% of users take action, such as visiting a website after looking at a brand's post. 72% of users say they have purchased a product they saw on the app. 50% of users are more interested in a brand after they see ads for it. I fit in all these categories. Definitely have made purchases because of what I've seen. I've learned more after seeing a brand has posted something. So business profile, there is a difference. There's, I believe, 3 different types of Instagram profiles. You have your regular personal, your business, and then your creator. So with the business profile, you can get real-time insights, sell directly on Instagram, so you have the functionality to do that. Engage with your community. You can build relationships with interactive stickers, one-on-one direct messaging. You can have AI do all of this for you now. Additional features: contact buttons such as call or email, access to new features early. The creator version, you get access to new features early as well. You get a professional dashboard with a business Instagram, so essential destination for businesses to track performance, grow their business, and stay informed through educational resources. Account performance, Instagram insights, promotions, branded content approvals, Instagram shopping, and save replies. With a creator account, you get a lot of these options as well. Not all of them though, because you're not doing Instagram shopping as an example. I personally have a creator account. Components of an Instagram post: photos, all about visual content. 93% of buyers cite visual appearance as their main reason for purchasing a product. Instagram offers 40 filter options for photos. New size is 4x5, which is vertical instead of square now, which is super annoying, but I'm learning to embrace it. Setting up an Instagram page. So here you can click on this to learn how to make an Instagram business account. Again, it's different than a personal account. This is the Nathan business account here, just so you can look at it. And this is actually me right here. I did some UGC content for them. Instagram shopping. So click here to learn more about Instagram shops and how to set that up. Businesses can sell products through social e-commerce. It can be found via the Instagram Explorer and the navigation bar. Within the app, customers can browse products from @shop, filter by categories, and add items to their bags and complete purchases. Instagram stories is another part of Instagram. So the stories posts featuring videos or images that disappear after 24 hours. Meant to be posted at a higher frequency over traditional posts so they can be posted all throughout the day, every day. Not meant to be perfect. Give inside or behind the scenes looks at businesses. You can take photos and videos through stories or upload photos or videos to stories. I always recommend uploading because in case the app cuts out, you lose reception, Wi-Fi is not as great, you still have that photo and video saved to your phone. You can upload bulk photos and videos into Instagram stories. You also have the ability to add stickers, text questions, date stamp, weather, tag, companies, hashtags. There's a whole list of a bunch of different items you can add in the stories. Analytics are available for Instagram business profiles. Okay to post often and any time of the day. You can save your stories to the highlight sections under your bio. So when they disappear after 24 hours, users can still visit the highlight section. The highlight section, these are the highlight sections here. And nowadays you can make cool little icons in software like Canva. There's templates to make icons for branding purposes, and they'll match your brand. Okay, so here's an example of just kind of Instagram. Same thing I just showed you. So here's two different brands. You can see their icons for branding purposes. Their icons match their brand. This is all the information that you can put in here. You can put links. So as I think you can put, I don't know how many links you're allowed now. There's also apps where you can put even multiple links in there. Instagram Reels, so a TikTok lookalike feature that provides a way for users to create 15-second multi-clip videos. I believe that's up to 30 seconds now. Might even be a minute. I'll have to double check. You really don't want to go more than 30 seconds because you're going to lose your audience's attention. But yeah, you can upload Reels now. They're very popular. They help with the algorithm. You get a lot of great metrics with it. Here's an example of one for Nathan Hydration when they were making rain jackets. Here's another example of a Reel. This is user-generated content. So this is a professional athlete who is launching a new product with one of his sponsors. This guy is actually really funny to follow. You can deliver coupons or promotions, show behind-the-scenes footage. So it's really cool to see like restaurants, breweries, wineries, all that behind the scenes. You can conduct live question and answers. You can do kind of similar to podcasts where you do interviews, and you can create events like, hey, we're going to have an interview on Friday at 12 p.m. with blah, blah, blah. And users can come watch and then they can save. This is a great way to feature influencers and to work with them as well. So if you look here, back on this Instagram page, so this is user-generated content. They had me send them clips of a waist belt that they were promoting. So I sent them clips and then they put together the reel. Here's an influencer, a big-time influencer. You can see 184K. This was on here quite a bit, but still, she's a well-known influencer. So this company reached out to her and paid her a certain amount to create a certain type of reel because they know they're paying for this right here, all the exposure that they can give them. All right, so moving on to some social media strategies here. Questions to ask to find the perfect platform because there are so many different platforms now. Look at the different uses of the platforms, which one fits what you're doing. Look at where your customers are at on social media. So again, that target audience, where are they at? Where do they go to get product ideas? Look at where your competitors are at. What is working for them and what is not working for them? Try out a platform or two and different types of content. Where do you get the most responses? So I know when I was working with this brand, they originally had Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter or X, but the X wasn't really getting any engagement, so they concentrated more on Facebook. And then after a year, they noticed Facebook wasn't getting more engagement, so they went back to X. So it's totally okay to pivot and go back and forth. That's why you have analytics to keep seeing the different changes on where your target audience is at. So some social media basic etiquette here. Use different accounts for professional and personal communications, especially small business owners. I had a winery client who kept posting personal stuff on the winery social media pages, and they need to keep that on their personal page. It needs to stay within the brand. So think brand marketing. Does this have anything to do with the brand? If not, then post it on your personal page. Always be respectful and nice. Don't react too quickly, especially with customer service remarks. Think about it and never respond angry. Always spell check. There's plenty of tools and resources for that. Use hashtags strategically. Don't spam your followers' feeds. Don't tag or post pictures and videos of people without their permission, especially children. You have to be very careful these days. Make sure you always have written consent if you are a big brand. The clients I work with, whenever I posted any images of people, I always had to have them sign a written consent form. Don't post anything you would not want your coworkers or potential employer or client to see. Even if you delete it later, it's still up there. People can take screenshots. I've seen influencers, professional athletes get ruined because of certain things they post on social media without thinking. So social media marketing strategy. Social media offers an advantage to the creation and distribution of valuable content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience. A social media marketing strategy outlines the strategies and tactics for how a company will incorporate social media into its business. The social media marketing plan is a living document that outlines an organization's social media goals and guides the actions needed to achieve these goals. So our lovely friends at HubSpot here, they have, here's a link to click on called the Social Media Workbook. It's a template guide on how to create and start your own marketing strategy. So if this is going to be a big portion of your final project, please click on the Social Media Workbook here and you'll get lots of tips and guidance and resources on how to create this part for your final project and your final plan. So step 1, identify a target market and create personas. We learned about that. Step 2, conduct a social media audit. So learning where you're at. If it's a brand new company, then okay to do social media audit on competitors and see what's working for them and what's not working for them. So you can create kind of like a template like this and just go through all the platforms here. Twitter is obviously X. And this is the type of things you want to audit. So know this template here for your final marketing plan. The social media networks the company is active on. If the social media profiles are fully optimized, so this is kind of just reviewing what's in this template here. Number of followers, posting frequency, the average number of engagements such as reach, clicks, video views, brand mentions. If the posts are on brand and properly optimized across all social media channels, types of content being shared on each platform, which platforms perform best and why, the number of reviews, testimonials, and note if they are positive, neutral, or negative, customer inquiries, average response rate to these customer inquiries. Step 3, establish goals, objectives, and metrics. And step 4, determining resources, roles, and responsibilities. So this will all be needed for your marketing plan. So think about these things. This is the main CMO, which is his chief marketing officer. And this is obviously for a big company here. You have your content, your social, your video, your ads, and your project management. And then you have your team leads and your specialists. But for small businesses, this might all be done by one person. Step 5, software and apps. What kind of software is going to be needed for your social media? There's lots of different software out there, and the majority of them will cost you money. So make sure you choose wisely based on your budget. Step 6, establish a tone of voice. Step 7, your platform selection. Step 8, create and optimize social media networks. I always give the advice of you don't have to be on every single platform. Choose maybe 2 to start with and get really good at that and be very consistent, and then add a 3rd or 4th one. Step 9, create and distribution and content strategy. So a distribution strategy is a network and frequency of posts and content types. Content strategy, planning, development, and management of social media content. This includes the actual written posts and types of content such as videos, blogs, and infographics. You don't have to post every single day. Think about your bandwidth. As long as you're consistent, it is better to post 2 times a week and be consistent for 6 months or a year instead of posting 5 times a week for a month and then not post at all for 2 months. Be consistent. Step 10, create a content calendar and schedule posts. The ability to plan, create, and schedule content on a weekly or monthly basis. They have different templates out there for free. You can create your own. I use Google Sheets for everything. That way I can share the Google Sheet with clients if needed. So here's kind of an example. I like to put what the platform is, date, content type, whether it's a promotion, curated content, topic, the actual caption itself, and the file name link to the graphic or the image. And then I have all these in a library. So very organized with everything. Once I have everything good to go where I like it, moved everything around in my Google Sheet, I then copy and paste the post to a third-party scheduling app. There are lots of different kinds out here. This example here happens to be Hootsuite. I used Hootsuite for many years, and they did have a great free version for students, but they got rid of that a couple years ago. So now I use Buffer, but there's so many good ones out there. So you can see, you can have all these different channels and organize all these posts in here, and you can see everything all at once, and you can still move things around. You can have different views. So depending on what view works best for you and what workflow works best for you. You might have a client who already has a system in place and you just follow their system. Track, analyze, and fine-tune. So what are the common characteristics of good posts? What platforms should they focus on? How often should they post on each platform? What time of day? What should the content look like? What strategies should they focus on? So there's nothing wrong with changing things around, but make sure you track and analyze and always pivot and always pay attention to the latest social media trends because they're constantly changing. I would say weekly. It's a lot to keep track of. All right, so Module 9 assignments are going to be your Check-in 5 book recommendation and Assignment 7 social media strategy analysis.